Previously on Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation. I'm going to show you real quick before we go back in the water. And we're going to... Oh! Okay. I glitched up. Awesome. And with that, the adventure continues. Welcome back everyone to the Tomb Raider Marathon. I am Jonathan Wolf, and ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be continuing on with the Temple of Karnak section in Tomb Raider 4. And we're actually going to be doing the second visit of the Temple of Karnak, Great Hypostyle Hall, and Sacred Lake, which means that after this video, we're going to be moving on to a brand new level. And it's one of the best levels, if it weren't for some bugs and glitches that it can produce. Okay, so here we go, where we ended the last level. We swam through a hallway in the Sacred Lake, and now we are back in the Temple of Karnak. And in the last video, I also mentioned that I did start a self-imposed challenge of trying to beat the game without using my pistols. So yeah, I will be essentially using everything but my pistols. Okay, now before we continue on, I'm gonna see if there's actually in this area, because I kind of messed it up, but yeah, as you can see, there's nothing on this side. But yeah, you may notice that we can still swim in this water. Okay? Now, at the end of the last level, we did get our second Canopic Jar, which means that we can actually use it to make something happen in the water. And the Canopic Jar goes into this right receptacle. So let's place Canopic Jar 2. And by placing both Canopic Jars, you will see that there is something getting poured into the water. And you're going to be like, okay, like what did we do? Did we do something cool or something? I don't know. Well, let's just see what we did.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, as you can see, by using both Canopic Jars, they actually poured something into the water that will allow us to Jesus our way to the other side of this lake. And even though, you know, this is water, try not to swan dive from high ledges, otherwise, yeah, you're gonna break your neck. So yeah, there you go. All right, and yeah, here we got some Uzi clips behind this statue, which looks pretty awesome. And in this next area, we're going to prepare our shotgun, because now we're going to fight some alligators. Alright. So let's drop down here. And yeah, we have, I want to say 3 gators we have to deal with. Now, I believe there's going to be a gator as soon as we go over here. Or not. Yeah, there he is. I was expecting you, good sir. Alright, don't target the far one. Target that guy. Yeah, there we go. Although I'm pretty sure that... Okay, let me get my gun out, or let me get my gun away. Alright. Where are you going? Die! And there you go. Okay, now in this area, we do have some shotgun shells right here. I also have a flare in my hand. And in this area, you may also notice that we got this pedestal with some items in there. And those items are important because they will allow us to essentially continue on with the game. Alright, so we got the shotgun shells, and in this water we have even more shotgun shells. And we also have this opening down here. And this opening will give us access to a hole in a wall. And by putting our hand onto it... Oh no, it's a button. Okay. I thought it was a hole in the wall. But yeah, by pushing this button, we're actually going to... still have control of Lara. Yeah, I actually like doing that. Yeah, there's actually some cutscenes that you can actually still have control of Lara, and you can just run around as the cutscene is going.
Uh-huh.
Which is pretty awesome. And yeah, basically by pressing this button, we can now claim these 2 items. Now remember, when there's multiple items stacked up on top of each other, make sure you hold the action button so that Lara will grab them all. But in this pedestal, we can grab the Great Hypostyle Key, or the Hypostyle Key, and the Sun Goddess. And yeah, these two things are very important. Specifically the Sun Goddess, because it will allow us to, well, finish this Temple of Karnak trilogy of levels. But the Hypostyle Key is also important because it will allow us to go into a brand new area in the Great Hypostyle Hall. And it's an area I mentioned in the last video, where there was a locked door and you needed a key. And we're gonna get to that area immediately. And also, if you remember back in the last video, basically once you get the Sun Goddess and the Hypostyle Key, we are basically done with the Temple of Karnak area. So now we have to go into the Great Hypostyle Hall and basically do stuff there so we can move on to Sacred Lake. So yeah, Temple of Karnak is a very small area, all things considered. It's the Great Hypostyle Hall that has the more meat into this, in this video. Because yeah, in the last video was more the Temple of Karnak, and Hypostyle Hall was like a pass-by, and then we did stuff in Sacred Lake. This time, we have a pass-by, we're doing a pass-by on Temple of Karnak, and then we have to do a lot of stuff in Hypostyle Hall, and a bunch of other stuff in Sacred Lake. But yeah, you may also remember in the last video that we got a cutscene that Von Croy finally caught up to us. And well, as soon as we get down here, we now have to engage with some assassins, or with some ninjas. Alright, now that we're down here, I'm gonna get my Uzis, and I'm just gonna fire away. And yeah, in this area we have 2 ninjas. And yeah, you may think, okay, John, why are you going guns a-blazing? Why couldn't you? It couldn't be easier for you to wait for them. I could do that, except that, yeah, trying to get behind these guys is much more difficult. And I'm actually gonna show you with this guy that is in this area. Because, yeah, the turn radius for these guys has been drastically improved. I mean, for example, look at this. Yeah, look at this guy just turn. Yeah, basically, these guys now turn with me. Switch. Yeah, trying to get behind them is practically impossible. So, yeah. Also, what was that watery sound effect? That was weird. Alright, but here we got one last guy. And that's basically all of the enemies in this area. Now, I'm pretty sure none of them drop anything now that I think about it. So yeah, let me backtrack a bit to see if they actually drop something. Because yeah, I don't remember if any of these guys drop anything. And what the heck is that? Is the Scorpion here? I did not even know he was there. Wow. Well, would you look at that? It's awesome. Okay, yeah, none of these guys dropped stuff. Okay. Also, yeah, you may have noticed that you lose Uzi ammo way too quickly. Like, I started with 630, now I have 433. So I basically used 200 Uzi ammo on just I want to say 5 guys? Yeah, 5 guys. Well, 5 guys and a Scorpion. Alright, so now we're gonna switch back to the shotgun for the next level. Or when we get to a Hypostyle Hall. At least the beginning section. And yeah, with that said, we are done with this area. Now, before you move on to the Great Hypostyle Hall, make sure that you have 29 out of 70 secrets, because this is the last time you're going to be able to get into Temple of Karnak. Now, I guess you could try to come back here via the end of Sacred Lake, but yeah, just make sure you don't do unnecessary backtracking. Get here with 29 secrets. Because, yeah, in this video, there's only one more secret we can get, or in this area, and it's in Sacred Lake. Okay, but here we go in the Great Hypostyle Hall, and right over here, we're going to find a new enemy. We have these Red Ninjas. And these guys are pretty tough. They take like 4 shots, or they take like 4 to 5 shots with a shotgun, which is crazy. And these guys also have probably one of the stupidest moves in the entire franchise. And you'll see what I mean when we get to them. Or when we get to it. But basically, these guys, yeah, as you can see, they just like to twirl their sword around. And when they do this animation, every time you shoot at them, you will actually deflect their shots. Now, there are 3 ways you can actually make these guys... There's 3 ways you can actually make these guys stop doing this. The first one is to just stop pointing at them. The second is to put away your gun and then put it again and pull it out again. And the third option is just get near them. So yeah, basically just wait for it. I actually do like to turn so that, you know, I have a more because that is actually faster, because the animation of the blade retracting, which I have no idea how that works. Yeah, that animation will actually disable his invincibility thing. Okay, so yeah, right over here we got another red assassin, and yeah, we also have another one. So we got 2 of them. Why are you aiming at that guy? And yeah, as you can see right there, that guy just took 2 hits. And yeah, that's actually another reason that the shotgun basically has a bit of a Doom-like property. Because yeah, sometimes all the pallets will hit while none of them hit. Like that guy took me like 7 hits to kill, which is kind of ridiculous. But there we go. That's it for that guy. Okay, so now we want to do this jump. And as a rule of thumb, make sure you don't do the running jump while hugging the wall. Because if you do, Lara will not grab the ledge. And she'll just fall to her death. Okay, so here we are back in this area. And yeah, basically to that direction, we can go to the Sacred Lake. However, now that we got the Hypostyle Key, we can now go into this crawl space and actually use the key. So let's go and use it. All right. Oh, come on, Lara. Don't get stuck. All right. And right here at the end, to the right, we can use the Hypostyle Key. Okay, now in this room, we want to be quick. Because as soon as you enter, there's going to be a ninja or a red ninja that's going to make it for that small med pack. And I believe that ninja also has an Uzi, or he's going to use an Uzi instead of his sword. But yeah, now we got the Uzi guy, wherever he is. There he is. And yeah, for that guy, just pummel him to death. And he drops an Uzi, so yeah, we can actually use the we can actually finally use the Uzis if you didn't get him in the Tomb of Set, because yeah, I don't think you can actually get the Uzis until this point. So that's crazy. All right, and here we have, I guess, the main room of the Great Hypostyle Hall, and this area is massive. There are essentially 3 floors. There's 3 layers you can actually go into. And there's, I want to say, 3 sections in this level as well. So this is section 1 where we start. And then going over here, we can go to section 2. Now, in this little alcoves, sometimes there are items. However, I don't remember which ones we have items. Or which ones have items. Okay, now in this... Okay, so yeah, here we got the second section. And in this section, there's no enemies. So we don't even... So yeah, we are safe for now. How rude of you. Hey. How rude of you. Well, so much for not being enemies. Okay. Alright, so that's, that guy. And yeah, this is section number 2. And yeah, there is... And yeah, this... Basically, we have to go all over the place. It will be confusing, trust me. But not that confusing. Alright, and then we got layer 3, or section 3. And in this area, there's going to be a red guy over here on this trench. Or maybe that's the guy that came from here. The one that attacked me. Yeah, because usually there's a guy over here. That would be a... I think he had an Uzi, but... I guess that's not the case. Yeah, maybe the guy that was here actually was the one that fought, that engaged with me. Back in the second section. Okay, but if you explore the third section, you may notice that there's actually a lever over there. So now our first objective is to make it to that lever. And there's multiple ways of doing it. And yeah, basically you can go over here and just monkey bar your way to that area, but that takes too long. Instead, we're going to go back here. And we're actually going to go over here to the right. Because in here, we can actually jump up here. And I saw that med pack. Alright. Okay, so let's get the large med pack. Oh, come on, Lara. Alright. So yeah, let's jump up here. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into the monkey bar. Now, I don't know if it happens when I pull the lever or when I get to this area, but as soon as you get to this point... Actually, I think it's going to be when we pull the lever. But yeah, when we pull the... But yeah, basically we're going to drop and we're going to pull the lever. And what this lever is going to do is going to complete... Is going to close a trapdoor. And it's going to complete a monkey bar path. However, what it's also going to do is going to spawn a... Oh. There's the guy. Okay. But yeah, it is actually going to spawn that guy. And that guy has an Uzi, so we want to kill him as quickly as possible. Okay, and as for you, I'm going to fight you like this. Okay, so yeah, this is the guy that I was thinking of that was the one that attacked me, but... No, it doesn't seem to be the case. Well, would you look at that? Awesome. Alright, so now that guy's dead, we now want to go to the second floor, or the second layer. Which is by just doing this. And then I'm going to prepare my Uzis again, because as we go to this next area, we're actually going to spawn another... Red Ninja. But yeah, basically once we cross the trapdoor that we used, or the trapdoor that we raised, we're actually going to spawn a Red Ninja. So yeah, there's a trapdoor right there. And yeah, once we get to it, we're actually going to spawn the guy. So yeah, we have a scary music. And then we're going to shoot him. And he went down. Now he drops one-shot shotgun shells. However, I'm actually going to get them later because we actually need to go down eventually. After we do stuff here, after we clear something here in the top layer of the area. Okay, so in this part, we have a very annoying section because here we have a very bad camera angle that... And this is honestly the one camera angle that I don't like because what you want to do is you want to actually shoot this boulder that is up here. And it's honestly not that bad because all you have to do is stand on this tile and then just take a hop back and just sidestep to the middle of this tile. But you know, with the camera angle, the perspective can be very confusing, and yeah, it can be kind of difficult to shoot or to aim at that boulder and actually make it drop. But yeah, this camera angle is honestly the only camera angle that honestly bothers me in this game, and it's gonna be bothersome in a first playthrough. I can guarantee it. All right, but yeah, I'm gonna go down now because here we can get the white shot ammo from that red ninja. And yeah, by shooting the boulder, we created a hole down here. And there we go. All right, and then we want to go across because here we got a crawl space. And here we have some Uzi clips. All right, so let's back up. And now we go into the, honestly, the main puzzle of this video. Because yeah, last level we had the, actually we didn't have a puzzle. So yeah, here we have our first big puzzle, I guess. So coming through here, you will notice that we have this green pyramid. And over here, we got 3 openings, okay? And in these openings, if we go into one of them, you will see that we have this weird-looking obelisk. And you may also see that we have a pointy end and a fat end. Now, I am going to explore these 3 areas because I always forget which one has items. But yeah, there's supposed to be, like, I believe a med pack and some shotgun shells in one of these areas. But I might be completely wrong, so let's see if I am. Oh, well. Okay, so yeah, we have these. That would have been a floor death. But yeah, we have these 3 obelisks with a pointy end and a fat end. And yeah, basically, and also you may notice that there's a chain over there. Now that chain, what it's going to do is going to operate these obelisks, I guess, to the point that, and which are going to give us access to, it's flares, okay. And yeah, basically they're going to activate the, okay, by pulling the chain, they're going to drop that thing over there, which is going to allow the obelisk to break that green pyramid in the center, because inside that pyramid there's actually an object that we can combine with the Sun Goddess. Oh, I took damage. Wow. But yeah, inside that pyramid there's an object that we can combine with the Sun Goddess item, which is going to give us access, which is going to allow us to basically finish the level, or finish the next level, which is the Sacred Lake. Okay, so yeah, let's go over here and let's explore one last time. And yeah, if it's just the middle path, I'm not surprised. Oh, it's not just the middle path. Okay, so we got some Uzi clips. Okay, so I was right with that we had Uzi clips and shotgun shells. I was wrong about the med pack though. But yeah, essentially what we have to do, essentially the main objective is we want to make sure that all of these obelisks point in the direction of the pyramid. And you may be thinking, okay, so how do we do that? Well, we want to go back here where we first entered this room, and then we're going to go over here to this pathway. Because in this pathway, there is a ladder. And this ladder will give us access to a mechanism we can use so we can actually move the pillars. Okay, and as you can see, here we have the first pillar we can move. Now, if you use the camera, if you can manipulate the camera, you may notice that there's actually an opening right down there between Lara's legs. Yeah, you can actually kind of see the pyramid down there. And yeah, basically what you want to do is you want to move this thing so that it actually points the pyramid. And here we have this peg. Now this peg, depending the direction it's pointing, is basically correlated to the pointy end of the obelisk, which means, so basically what we have to do is we want to move this guy 90 degrees. Now, just like movable blocks, if you continuously hold the action button, you're going to continue to spin this thing. So make sure you just press it and let it go when you... Oh my god. And let it go when you move it. Okay, so now we got this guy. Now, you may notice that in that last area, or when we got to this area, we turned 90 degrees. Which means that the opening is once again to my left. So basically what you want to do is we want to move this guy twice. Also, you move these things by just pressing action. You don't have to press either forward or backwards. Lara will automatically push the peg. And once again, when we get over here, the opening will be to my left. So with this guy, we gotta push it over here once. And basically, once we do that, every single obelisk will be on the perfect position so that we can actually pull the chain and get access to the item. And yeah, basically on the way back, you want to make sure that the pegs are actually on the right side or are facing right. So yeah, all three of these guys are facing right. So now let's go down here and let's make some magic happen. Now, in case if you want, you can also check if it's actually correct. So we got the pointy end, we got the pointy end, and over here we got the pointy end. Now, I believe that if you don't have them in the proper position, when you pull the chain, I believe Lara will say no. So yeah, that basically means that you don't have you don't have it completed. So yeah, let's pull the chain and let's make some magic happen. And also just for fun, let's pick up the item as we're getting electrocuted. Oh, I love doing that. It's fun with the cameras, man. Fun with the cameras. Alright, let's get out of here. Now, by picking up the item, which is the sun disk, we will open this trapdoor right here, and this path will take us to the sacred lake. So yes, we are now done with the Great Hypostyle Hall, so now we just have to finish things off in the sacred lake, and then we can move on to a brand new area. Also, it is dark in here. My goodness. Alright. Okay, so right here we got this area, and I don't want to use my Uzis. Let's use a shotgun. And yeah, right here we got a couple scorpions we can kill. So we got one, and we got two. We got three. Oh my goodness. Alright. Okay, and then we got this area. Now, the first place we're going to go is in the water. Because in the water, we got some shotgun shells. And I believe a small med pack. Let's see if that's the case. Now we got an opening. With a small med pack. Look at that. Huzzah. I was right all along. Alright. And the next place we want to go is from the entrance, which is right over here. We want to go to the right, because to the right there's actually an opening, and this opening is the opening that I was talking about in the last level. Because if you remember back in the last level, I mentioned that there's actually a crawl space in Sacred Lake that will take you to an area with some items. Well, and this is actually the area that I was talking about. Now in this area we also have a scorpion, so let's kill him real quick. And yeah, basically in this area there's only flares. And I believe that's it. So yeah, it's just for flares. And yeah, if we go up here we got a crawl space. And if we take a peek at And we take a peek right over here. As you can see, we have the first section of the Sacred Lake. So yeah, we can actually go there if you want. But there's really no reason to go there. So let's just go ahead and go back and let's use the Sun Disc and the Sun Goddess, so that we can actually continue on with the level. Or actually finish the level, because yeah, we're actually getting very close to the end of this video and this level. So yeah, let's go over here to this receptacle, and then let's combine the Sun Goddess with the Sun Disc to create the Sun Talisman. And right over here, we're going to get a overly long cutscene for no reason. So let's enjoy it. Yeah, I don't know why this is way too long. But by using the Sun Disc or the Sun Talisman, we will open 3 directions. We have directions to the right, to the left, and straight ahead. Now the way to go, or the way to continue on, is straight ahead. However, before we do that, we want to go to the right, because here we have a small med pack in an isolated crawl space. So let's pick it up. And with that said, let's continue on. And now we want to go to the left, because this path will give us access to a secret. And this secret sucks, because we have to grab this pole. We have to try to grab this pole and not die in the process. So you know what? I'm going to save my game, because yeah, this jump can be kind of scary. And I'll be honest, I'm going to be surprised if I die here, because this jump can be pretty difficult. Not to mention that I haven't died yet in this game, so let's see if we can actually keep a streak. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a running jump for this platform with the flares. And then I'm going to stay on the middle of the tile, and then I'm just going to walk off and just grab the pole. Now, another thing you can also do is you can actually do a standing jump for this tile right here, because this is actually deep water. So yeah, you can actually save yourself from a fall. And yeah, let's go into that pathway to get some shotgun shells. And over here, I don't know if there's actually more stuff. Oh, we got Uzi clips. And we also have Lara blue instead of her arms and face, so that's weird. Alright. And down here, we have some wide shot shotgun shells, and we also have a door. And I believe we have some flares to the right. Or a small med pack, never mind. Alright, and then let's gravitate towards the door by holding action. And let's open the door to get access to the only secret in this video. Oh my god, Lara, what are you doing? Alright, so let's go up here. And here we can get the next secret. And yeah, for some reason, you may think... Okay, and yeah, for some reason, the secret didn't chime. Or, I think it chimed, but because we were underwater, it was super low. Because, yeah, that's actually another thing that this game also has. That when you're underwater, the music... or the background music and sound cues are also muted down. So yeah, but yeah, as you can see, we have 30 secrets. And yeah, basically we got some wide shot shotgun shells, a large med pack, and some crossbow bolts. And these are a new type of ammo, because here we have explosive ammo. Now, you can actually tell that these are explosive by 2 reasons. The first one is the fletching is now red or reddish. So yeah, for the normal crossbow we got white, for the poison we got green, and for the explosion we got red. But also, as you can notice on the tip of the arrow, you can actually see that there are actually explosives attached to them, while the other ones are not. So yeah, that's actually another reason, another way to tell if you got the the explosive crossbow bolts. Even though they're not called bolts in here, but, you know. They're bolts. They're not arrows. I'm a Souls player, I should know. Alright. Alright, so now we gotta get out of here. And if you're crazy enough, what you can do is, by grabbing this pole, you can actually make a backflip to the opening we came from. However, I don't trust myself with these poles. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get over here and then just do a backflip to the tile with the flares. And then I'm just going to do yeah, I can do a standing jump. So yeah, let's go over here. And there we go. That is it for that area. So now we're going to move on to the middle path. And this is the path we have to take to finish the level. And yeah, as you can see, we have another huge area with some huge pillars. My God, they're huge. And before we do anything, we want to come here in this opening because here we have some items. We got a small med pack, some Uzi clips, and a shotgun shells. I almost said, I don't know why I was going to say large shotgun shells, but no, we got normal shotgun shells. So once we got them, we want to go up here on this rocky formation. And here we can grab this monkey bar. And we want to take it to the end to where that crawl space is. Now, as we crawl over here, we're actually going to spawn some bats. But I'm just going to let them just nibble at me because these guys are not as bad as the ones from Tomb Raider 1. Because, yeah, they basically bite you and then just fly away. While the bats in Tomb Raider 1, they just assault you like nothing else. And yeah, once we get to the end, we're just gonna blast them. We're gonna blast away. Alright. Now, I don't know if there's I don't know if I got both of them. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, let me do this. Uzis. Crouch. Oh my God. There we go. That worked. Okay. Alright, so now that we're done, so now that we're in this area, we want to go to the left. No, we want to go to the left first. Because on the left, we have some Uzi clips. Also, yeah, another thing that they remove for some reason is that you don't have an ammo counter in this game, which is odd. Now, yes, I do know that you have an ammo counter in the remastered version, but it's no big deal. I mean, I'm actually glad that, you know, we can actually see what items we got on the bottom corners, so that's a benefit for me. Okay, so now let's pull up. And I believe when we come up here, we're going to spawn another bat, but I might be wrong on that. Yes, I am. Okay. So instead, we're just going to do a running jump to this platform. And yeah. Okay, let's be careful not to fall off and die. And then we want to go over here to the left. And this jump can be scary because if I fail, I'm basically dead. So yeah, let's do a standing jump. Let's grab the ledge. And now let's get our shotgun because here we got another bat. So let's wait for him and blast him. Oh, there's two bats. And they're all dead. Nice. Alright, and here we have the last drop. So yeah, we're going to drop down. We will take some fall damage, but that's okay. And over here to the right, there are some Uzi clips. Or a Uzi. And some flares. And that is all of the items in this level. Now, we check our statistics. We should have, yes, we should have 30 out of 70 secrets. So, yeah, we're almost halfway with the secrets. So that's awesome. And we're not even halfway through the game, which is pretty funny. And yeah, as you can see, here we are at the end of the Sacred Lake. And as you can see, we have these set statues. And you may also notice over there we have a receptacle for the amulet. So, yeah. And I have to say, this area looks pretty creepy. Although, it's also a very empty area. Like, we got these pillars and that's pretty much it. But, yeah, with that said, let's approach this door. And let's finish this video.
Miss Croft!
Von Croy.
You sound concerned, my dear. Have you misplaced something?
Nothing I shan't be retrieving at a later date, Lieber.
You know how I admire your perseverance, but I fear this time we may be testing it to the, how would you say, maximum.
Always griping, Werner. If it's the leg causing all this resentment, I seem to remember that being down to your affinity with pulling hazardous levers.
Enough of this tedious banter, Miss Croft. It is time for you to realize... Miss Croft? Now, let us review your sprinting skills.
Okay, so if you're wondering why that cutscene was more high quality, that is because I'm actually recording this cutscene using the remasters. And the reason I'm doing it is, and the reason I did this is because in the original the version that I'm playing for this marathon, or the PlayStation version that I'm playing for this game, for some reason cuts that portion where you see the statue of Sed just looking at Von Croy, which, yeah, I don't know why they did that, because that cutscene is that cutscene was not cut off in the PC release. It was the full cutscene. So yeah, I don't understand why the PlayStation version had it cut. Maybe it was too scary or something. I don't know. I'm probably thinking of something stupid because, you know, censorship is fun, said no one ever. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this video. And that is the end, or actually, that is the end of the Sacred Lake, the Temple of Karnak, and the Great Hypostyle Hall. And that is also the end of this video. Next time we meet, we're going to be moving on to one of the more better levels of the game. Or I would say the point of the game where the game starts to get really good. Well, until it drops, but we'll get into that later. And that is the Tomb of Semerket. And for this next video, and for the next two videos, we're actually going to stay on this tomb because, well, let's just say that there are two ways to beat this level. And you'll see what I mean when we get to it. But until then, this is Jonathan Wolf. Thank you all for watching this episode of the Tomb Raider Marathon. And I will see you all in the next video. Take it easy, everyone.